The appointed hour of 6 o'clock having arrived, the board will come to order. Invocation by Mr. Stumpf, Pledge of Allegiance by Mr. Frazee.
Lord, as we begin our meeting this evening, we ask that you watch over us and help us to make decisions that are wise and helpful for all of our constituents. We ask that you protect our first responders and all of our military, especially those in harm's way around the world. We ask that you bless our Sangamon County employees and their families. We ask all of this in your name, Jesus. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The clerk will call the roll.
Canman. Clark. Dafsco. Diener. Del Giorno. Tony. Is Tony?
Mr.
He's
Del
here.
Giorno is here, yes.
Yeah. Deppie. Douglas Williams. Feipel. Forsyth. Frazee. Fulgenzi.
Excused, I'm sorry.
Guyton. Here. Hall.
Yes.
Correll. Lathan. Here. Madonia. Here. McGuire. Here. Mendenhall. Here. Miller. Here. Rader. Here. Scaife. Here. Shackman. Here. Shepard.
Excused.
Small. Here. Stumpf. Here. Chumlin. Here. Truex. Here. Chairman's present. So 26 present, 2 absent.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. A reminder to board members, we are broadcasting simultaneously. Please use your microphones, even for the roll call, so that the listening audience can hear you. All right, proclamations. The chairs are aware of no proclamations, but we do have 2 presentations this evening. And for the first one, the chair is pleased to recommend to recognize Amanda Winter. Ms. Winter, we're going to get a longer microphone, but unfortunately, not yet.
That's fine. Thank you. Hi, my name is Amanda Winter. I'm from St. John's College of Nursing. I'm their simulation tech, so I run their simulation center, and then I also coordinate their teen healthcare exploration program. So what is this program? So this is an after-school program we host. I'll go to the dates. After school for high school juniors and seniors in Sangamon County. It's a learning and network opportunity, and we host these once a month from 4:30 to 7:30. So what students can expect to learn, we have guest speakers. We like to use our simulation equipment as well as our lab equipment to teach students hands-on skills. We like to use problem-based learning. And then we also have a panel night where these students can learn all different types of healthcare professions. We also do a shadowing event in our hospital as well. The people who help run this program are nursing students from St. John's College. So students get to have those personal interactions and see what nursing students go through. For requirements, the student must be a junior or senior attending a Sangamon County high school. We do ask that students can provide their own transportation. And then we do like students to be interested in healthcare, nursing preferred. So our sessions, these are just the dates. We've got 5 sessions that we run October through April. You can see that we do intro night, which is like basic simulation, basic healthcare information. We do healthcare professions night, where students get to talk to various different professionals. We have physical therapists, we have respiratory therapists, nurses, all kinds of different professions that attend. We do have a college planning night where we invite several different universities and community college to talk, as well as CACC. Then we do 2 nights of shadowing and research night. And then at the end, students will receive their white coat. Let me go back. So this is on one of our shadowing nights. We had 2 groups, as you can see, and they are wearing what we call bunny suits because they toured our operating room. This is our white coat ceremony. These are the students this year that received their white coats. And how do they get those white coats? They attend 3 out of 5 of our sessions, and then they will receive a tuition benefit for St. John's College. And they also receive a certificate of completion. The application process is pretty easy. It's a Microsoft form. Students get this provided by their counselors. I work with each Sangamon County High School guidance counselor to make sure that they have access to this. And so far, these are our stats. I wish they were larger. I apologize. From 23 to 26, we've had 41 students receive a tuition benefit or certificate to our program. This is the breakdown. And then most recently, we did a survey with our 41 students. 12 responded. So far, 6 of those students are going to a 4-year college. 4 are going to a community college. So far, 2 have answered no, which means either they're still in high school or maybe they're not pursuing an option. Areas of study so far, we have 10 are going into nursing, 1 biology, and then 1 cellular and molecular biology pre-med tract. Some noticeable quotes we've seen that have been very positive is that it really helps students decide what they wanted to do, and it gave them a better insight into what medical professionals do. Any questions?
Fantastic program. Mr. Guyton?
What's your capacity for this program?
Right now, 30 students.
30 students? Okay.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Mr. Patonia?
This is near and dear to my heart. My mom was a nurse for 40 years. So you used to do freshman, sophomore, and then I know the concept's still the same. You've concentrated now on juniors and seniors. What's your retention rate for this college nursing that you get from the program? Do you get like 50% become nurses, or over the last couple years, you'd say maybe 45, 50? Just depends.
So far, a lot of them are going into nursing or healthcare in general. Our white coat ceremony that I showed you, out of the 16 students that received their white coat, I believe 11 of them planned on going into nursing.
Mr. Patonia, is this the program that you helped fund?
Well, I didn't help, but I just brought it to our attention, yes.
Yes.
It would start as the pipeline, I believe, maybe 10 years ago, not 8 years ago, I can't remember, but yes, and I'm just glad it's continuing, and it's a really good program, so.
Honestly, I think this is just a model for what our community could do in a broader sense and I think the chamber is working on something like this to broaden this opportunity out in fields beyond medicine. It's a phenomenal program.
But yes, we do, as I did bring it up, the county does fund part of this. I think it's up to 10,000. We were up a little bit more, but as the program scaled back a little bit, you don't need as much, but we are always happy to help out because it's an excellent program.
Thank you, we appreciate it.
Other questions or comments? Well, thank you very much. Great program.
Thank you.
And our next presentation is from the U of I Extension.
So I always make the same joke every year. I was a school teacher, so there's handouts.
Terry, if you can, unfortunately, we're broadcasting, so you need to speak into a microphone here. Is that microphone, is it catching?
Can you hear me now?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Terry.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, you have to constrain me to a podium, and that is hard for an old teacher, but I will do my absolute best. I always say, I am here to give some good news. And I know that a lot of times when you're sitting here in the county board meeting, it's not always good news. So I'm happy to bring that good news to you today. First off, good evening, Chairman and members of the Sangamon County Board. Thank you for your continued support of the University of Illinois Extension and for the opportunity to share some good news of the way Extension is serving Sangamon County residents. This past year has been one of collaboration, growth, and community impact. I'd like to highlight just a few of the areas where we are seeing meaningful results, including strengthening local food systems and food access, expanding community gardening opportunities, and developing future leaders through 4-H. One area where Extension has seen tremendous momentum is our work connecting local farmers, schools, and organizations with consumers. Through the Sangamon County Farm to Table initiative, Extension has helped bring together producers, schools, local government, and community stakeholders to increase opportunities for residents to access locally grown food. For example, this spring, Pleasant Plains Farmingdale Elementary and the Sustainable Food Institute of America hosted a farm-to-table lunch that showcased the progress of local food purchasing efforts and allowed local producers to see firsthand how their products can reach local students. We also assisted in developing a Sangamon County Farm-to-Table webpage and directory that will help connect local producers with schools, organizations, and consumers throughout the county. In addition, Extension facilitates educational opportunities for school food service staff, local producers, and students so they better understand the value of local food systems and the economic opportunities they create for our communities. As we know, Sangamon County has some of the best agricultural land in the world, and I think it just makes sense for us to be the leader in local foods. Another exciting accomplishment has been the development of the Sangamon County Department of Public Health Community Garden. Extension staff have been deeply involved in planning and developing this project since the fall of 2025. What began as an idea supported through grant funding has now become a community asset that provides opportunities for residents to grow food, learn gardening skills, and build connections with their neighbors. Today, the 1-acre garden includes 66 garden plots available to county residents, affordable rentals at just $10 per plot, irrigation infrastructure, water hydrants, accessible raised bed growing spaces, which is really important for people who maybe can't reach a traditional gardening environment, a pavilion, a greenhouse shed, secured fencing, and excellent pathways. And it's a space designated for community food donations as well, for that extra produce that gets produced. And I'm excited to say, I just checked with Jennifer Fishburne, our horticulture educator. I said, what's the count up to? And we're up to 500 pounds of food that's been produced for the community to donate. So that's exciting. I mean, bless you. We've had a little bit of a challenging growing season. It was a long time before we could get things in the ground this year, and I think we're pretty excited to see that things have taken off. And I just want to thank John as well with Public Health. He's been fantastic to work with. A really great partner. Currently, we have 14 gardeners. They've already rented plots, and we expect participation to continue to grow as awareness of the garden gets out. Extension staff also secured donations to enhance the site and have played an active role in preparing the garden for public use, as well as offering garden how-to programs. We just had one a couple weeks ago for fall gardening, because some people don't realize you can garden in the fall. There's lots that you can grow and still produce. This project represents the kind of collaborative work that improves food access, promotes public health, and creates lasting community benefits. And all of this in addition to our Master Gardener volunteer program, which celebrated 50 years last year. Amazing group of volunteers who offer programs and training. We also offer training for Master Gardeners. We had 4 brand new ones go through the process this year, so we're excited to have those folks join our 100+ volunteers that we have in Sangamon County and Master Gardeners. Really, really valuable volunteers for the community. We also had an introduction to beekeeping course. This year we had 22 people participate. We've been doing that getting close to 20 years now. And it's 6 weeks, and most of them plan to keep bees after this. So again, that's another source for local foods and folks taking a hobby and turning it into something that really helps everyone in the community. In addition, we had the honor of assisting with youth programming held at the Motherland Gardens and the Garney Tubman Cultural Arts and Research Center this summer. And those programs are just so much fun to get young people to explore their environment, to learn that gardening's for them too. No matter where you live, there's an opportunity to grow. We also are here to prepare future leaders through 4-H. While many people associate 4-H with fairs and livestock projects, and we are that, but we are also today's, raising today's leaders and helping them learn STEM, helping them learn career readiness, life skills that prepare them for the future. So we help youth accomplish many, many things. We know that our youth today are often ill-equipped for a changing world. And so what 4-H tries to do is help them accomplish their goals, set goals, and work in and be successful in a world that is changing and can sometimes be a little frightening. So we're helping bridge that gap. I'm sorry, I lost my place. I get excited and I go off script, and it gets me being excited. Oh, we do Welcome to the Real World program. That is a really great program in our schools. That goes right along with what I was just saying, helping kids explore careers, see the importance of getting an education, going to trade school, how they will manage money, making those types of decisions now when they're young and it's just a game, before it's not a game anymore, it's real life. Fantastic program. Lego engineering activities. Kids love Legos. I love Legos. But there's so much that kids can learn through the Lego experience, getting an interest in engineering and math as well. 4-H experiences have advanced youth also to the state level. We know we've got on Friday, if you were at the state fair, please come by and see our local 4-Hers. It is our day to show at the state fair. There are so many wonderful projects from local 4-Hers here in Sangamon County that are going to be exhibited at the state fair, that they had advanced to that level. So if you have any time at all, go by the Orr building. You will be excited for the future, and you will believe in these youth, because sometimes these people put down our young people today, and I think they haven't seen the side of them. They haven't seen the side that wants to make this world better, that's so smart. They want to work together. So if you go out and see those projects, you're going to be like, holy cow, I couldn't do that when I was their age. It's impressive, truly impressive. So looking ahead and meeting challenges, besides working with the 4-H programs and partnering with schools and libraries, we also look at other aspects of the community. While we're proud of all those accomplishments I just said, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the formation of the Sangamon County Disaster Recovery Coalition this year. This group works closely with Mia Ray and the Sangamon County Emergency Management Office. She's been fantastic to work with. This is a very important group because what it does is it brings community organizations together to plan ahead for disaster. Not just emergency response, but what happens after the disaster. So we bring community organizations together like the Red Cross, Salvation Army, United Way, churches, private organizations and businesses, volunteers, emergency responders and management, civic organizations, getting them together to say, let's plan in advance for the inevitable disasters. It's not if, it's when. And what can we do to then recover? We know a lot of times that emergency in the beginning, we've got great first responders, we're dealing with the immediate situation, but what happens a week later, a month later, a year later? So what this group does is it says, what are our community assets and how can we plan and be prepared so that when a disaster happens, Mia sends out the call and the community's ready to serve. And that has been so exciting for me to be a part of this year and really see the great organizations you have in this community who truly care about people. So very, very excited to watch the Sangamon County Disaster Recovery Coalition grow from our little humble beginnings right now. So closing, yay, she's about to stop. when we look across our work, I get so excited. I'm sorry. When we look across our work this year, whether it's connecting local farmers with schools or creating opportunities for residents to grow fresh, healthy foods, and for young people to develop their leadership, life skills, and to be a part of their community, we really focus an extension with continuing to make a meaningful difference across the county every single day. We are here to serve you. We are servants of the public. And we thank you for what you do to help support us so that we can serve you together. And again, thank you for your investment in University of Illinois Extension and allowing us to serve all the people that you represent.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Any questions for Terry? Mr. Stump?
One quick one.
Sure.
You mentioned Friday. Is that all day or is that at certain times?
They come in, they check in about 8 to 9 o'clock,
Okay.
and then they'll be doing judging all the way up, and I think they release projects about 3:30 or so. So if you come later in the afternoon, when the judging is kind of winding down, you can walk around and see the projects. They leave them there until later so folks can see the projects.
All around the 4-H?
It's in the OR building.
In the OR building. Thank you.
Correct.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Bye.
Other questions for Terry? Terry, you mentioned in your report you call out Hunter Buchanan, which we're so appreciative that the Extension Office agreed to partner with us on this farm to table effort. The committee is wrestling. Where's Dave? We are really, Dave, aren't we really kind of wrestling with what our next step here is? And if anyone on the board is interested in serving on our farm to table committee, our sort of an ad hoc group, please tell Brian or Mary, because we're really wrestling on what our next steps are going to be as we progress to the farm to table capital of the world.
Hey, you set the bar. We're gonna get there.
Yeah.
No, but thank you for the kind words. Hunter and has just been amazing, and I think as we look for next steps, there's so much opportunity there. It's just knowing how to channel it.
Yeah, exactly.
Chairman?
Mr. Hall, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'd like to just say it's been a privilege to be in the same meetings with you through the extension. It's been a real privilege. Been involved with the food stands and everything else in the classroom since I'm 85 to 2025. I can't believe it's been for 40 years, and thank you very much for your enthusiasm.
Oh, no, thank you, Craig,
Thank you
and I
very
know
much.
for all you've done, and you've served on the foundation. I get to live the dream every single day. It's hard, it's not always easy, there's ups and downs, but it is truly the most meaningful work you can do. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now, without objection, we will proceed out of the regular order to public comment, because the chair's informed there are some people who wish to comment on some matters that are before the board tonight, and
Mr. Chairman?
yes,
Yeah, I was
Mr. Cannon.
wondering if before we get to public comment, if we could maybe have a moment of silence for Terry Neidigger. Terry, served on our county rescue squad for 48 years. He would religiously come to our Office of Emergency Management committee meetings and give us detailed reports about what the rescue squad had done. I think he's the longest serving member of the rescue squad. He was the New Berlin police chief for over 30 years and served on the New Berlin Village Board. So I'd ask that if we could have a moment of silence for a great contributor to our community who
certainly.
recently passed. Thank you.
Thank you. I believe there is a number of board members working on a proclamation for Mr. Neidigger as well. All right, then, without objection, the chair proposes to proceed out of the regular order to public comment in order to allow those public commenters to comment on things that are coming up before the board this evening, taking those who signed up in the order that they signed up to speak. The first person who signed up to speak is Justin King. Justin King.
Is there a timer?
Yes.
Can I start?
Sure, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Justin King. I'm a farmer, landowner, and resident of Western Sangamon County. Sangamon County Board, I can't get over the fact that you denied Advanced Seed Solutions the right to build an ag seed dealership shed on 5 acres because of all the damage and health risk associated with such a facility. A 110 by 240 foot building on 5 acres to sell and warehouse seeds. But you approve a 1.5 million square foot industrial data center campus on 280 acres? Currently, 11 states are considering conditional restrictions to outright bans on AI data centers. Over 500 local municipalities and counties in the U.S. have bound or paused data center development. The opposition to data center development is all over every news outlet across this country. The list of negative consequences is overwhelming. Yet you think it's a good idea to put this right here in a populated, highly productive agriculture community. Myself and the majority of residents in this county, your constituents, disagree. Closed loop cooling systems, blowing heat out of the water. Where do you think all that heat is going? How do you think that 24/7, 365 day a year blasting of heat will affect the surrounding agriculture community? This industrial AI data center is not just some 110 foot by 240 foot ag building. Oh, wait, you deny those. This is a chemical filled, water consuming, pollution emitting, heat emitting, 280 acre land destroying industrial campus. And you're okay with that? This doesn't make sense. This data center process is proof to me that in Sangamon County, it's not what you know or what you're wanting to do. It's who you know. It's who you are. It's how much money you have. If you know the right people and have enough money, anything is possible in Sangamon County. That's what's proven to me here. This process has been the complete opposite of democracy. Roughly 750,000 acres of agricultural land is taken out of production every single year, and that's last year's data. I'm sure this number is going to get much larger with all the recent development. Let's keep destroying agricultural land. Hey, as long as we have AI, who cares about food, right? We can probably just get food from another country. That's a good idea. Let's position ourselves to be dependent on other countries for food. Sounds great. Fortune magazine published an article titled, "At the Edges of the AI Data Center Boom." Rural America is up against Silicon Valley billions. Sangamon County Board, whose side are you on? I want to say thank you to the board members who actually chose democracy in their vote. What did Mr. Stump say in his prayer at the beginning of this meeting? I didn't catch it word for word. I wish I would have, but he said something along the lines of doing what is best for the constituents of this county. I heard that. I don't think that's happening. Maybe you should actually do what is stated in the board prayer. Mr. Chairman said, let's try and be the farm-to-table capital of the world. Taking land out of production for industrial use, that's the complete opposite. Thank you.
The next person who signed up to speak, order. The next person who signed up to speak is Kyle Charpy. Oh, Kyle Charpy. Okay, the next person who signed up to speak is Roseanne Polito.
Thank you. My name is Rosanna Polito. I am here today to ask you to pass the measure to recall county board members, because my experience this year with my county board member, he's totally unreachable. I live in District 28. My question is this: why for the last 6 months do I go to the Sangamon County Board website with the phone number for my representative being 217-299-6120, only to be told I can't leave a message because the mailbox is full? I resorted 2 times calling the county board office to say, I want to file a complaint because my county board member is unreachable. I call it taxation without representation. This wasn't always my experience. My former county board member, Mark Ayers, when I lived in his district, even though our political views were very different, he took his job seriously and was kind and concerned about what concerned me. The communication with him was very easy. I'm 70 years old and I continue to work to make ends meet. If I performed on my job the way my current county board member has performed on his job, I would be out of a job. I live among senior citizens whose story is the same. As a senior, I resent having to jump through hoops to contact my county board member. This is not a charity position. You're actually accepting a paycheck, but defrauding senior citizens because you are basically unreachable. You called me yesterday because you heard I was coming to spill the beans about your lack of concern for your district. Lastly, any county board member should be recalled for using a non-disclosure agreement. Non-disclosure agreements are being used to leverage by our elected officials into hiding what is being sold to us as economic development, when in reality, some of these bad deals threaten our properties, our homes, and our communities. Please support the resolution to be able to recall county board members. Thank you.
Order, folks. Question to the county administrator. Is there some non-disclosure agreement people are signing?
No, not aware of any non-disclosure agreements with staff or board members or any elected officials.
Okay, thank you. All right, the next person who signed up to speak is Ken Pesha. Mr. Pesha. Okay, the next person who signed up to speak is Jordan Shaw.
Good evening. Now, I have to admit, for the past several months, I've been unprepared.
Ms. Shaw, would you pull that microphone down a little closer? Yeah.
This better?
Yeah, I think so.
Grazie. Now, I have to admit, for the past several months, I have been unprepared while speaking for public comment, only going from public knowledge and good old-fashioned small-town spite. Despite the obvious glazed-over eyes and disassociating I see from county board members, I knew that at the end of the day, I wanted the citizens of Sangamon County, specifically those who live around Louder, Thayer, and my hometown, Verdon, to know that people are still fighting against Cyrus One and will continue to fight against their idiotic Ponzi scheme. However, since I have agreed to volunteer during the evening, this may be one of the few times I'm able to speak publicly against data centers in 2026 moving forward. So, to mark this moment, I prepared my comments, and believe me, this was typed out on Microsoft Word. No AI, no ChatGPT, simply because it's stupid, and you should feel stupid for using AI to do the simplest tasks. Thankfully, it has become clear that people throughout the country hate data centers and are against AI. A current poll from Gallup has gotten 71% of Americans oppose data centers. Recently, protesters in Salem, Oregon showed up with a functioning guillotine to express their disdain for a possible data center. A week later, a moratorium for a year was passed. Now, you can have philosophical discussions over what it is or is not appropriate for a protest, But at the end of the day, if your citizens are speaking out about what will harm them, you have to actually listen. Not nod, not go, right, but actually listen. To ignore your constituents, to ignore the people who feed you, clothe you, work for you, and to instead fall into bed with a shady company who possibly can give Sangamon County jobs and money is utterly insane. With recent news showing how awful the world can be, I try to see if the lack of knowledge and empathy is because of sheer cowardice or cruelty. The idea of hiding your head in the sand while actual people are suffering because you wanted an easy payout is both infuriating and laughable. To look the residents of Louder in the face and say month after month after month, we do not care about your health or livelihood. We just want to be comfy in our little nice seats and do nothing while Cyrus 1 destroys your lives. Oh well, they are literally here. Justin has spoken month after month, and you do not care. You cannot, after all this time, actually believe that data centers will help anyone. After testimonies of citizens concerned for their farms, their health, the environment, the livestock, the noise pollution, the actual literal pollution, the absolute dumpster fire that is Joliet's data center, also owned by Cyrus 1, y'all really can't look yourself in the mirror and go, yeah, I made the right decision. So, to the 11 who voted yes to the data center, if your answer is still yes after several months of testimonies, I have only this to say. Good luck in November.
Okay, the next person who signed up to speak is Robert Popovich.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate that, and distinguished county board members. I've been working with Sam Canman on the ballot referendum, the recall, and I just wanted to let you know the people of Sangamon County are very receptive for what Sam is trying to promote. Personally, I've received over 700 signatures from county board members that are registered voters. And you know, there's no I in team. Everybody needs to work together to have a cohesive bond for safety. And we ought to make Sangamon County the #1 county in Illinois. So I just want to let you know, we're trying to work on this, and it'll be on the 2027 ballot for voting. And thank you for your time. Have a blessed day. I was going to tell you one other thing, too. My friend's celebrating his 100th anniversary at the State Fair. And it's Malone Taffy. If you get out there, come on and try some. Homemade right in front of you. Have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No advertisements. Thank you. All right. The next person who signed up to speak is Teresa Haley. I didn't see Teresa. Okay. The next person who signed up to speak is Donna Massey. I don't see Donna. The next person who signed up to speak is Tara Bergschneider.
I also need the longer mic thing. So I am Tara Bergschneider, and I'm from District 7, home of where the Cyrus 1 plants are, Double Black Diamond. When we're talking about NDAs, we're talking about kind of what happens when the process begins. So emergency protective orders, so that way we can't follow the process along the way. We're talking about the different shell companies, and we're talking about the multiple LLCs, and we're talking about transversing numbers and addresses and parcel registrations. So it's very, very complex. I signed up to speak about the recall because I want everybody to obviously support that. It's never a good idea for the people to not have power in that regard. We're in a really, really crummy situation, and information hasn't been shared to all of you. And so, or maybe it has and you've done these things knowingly. I'm not sure, but I like to believe the different part of things. But I've spent countless hours researching for months because it began for me with fiber internet a few years ago. So this isn't new to me. There's been a lot of work and research done, and I just really want you guys to consider to actually read. Find my Facebook page, Illinois Open Field Coalition Forward. We're doing research. We're working all across the state of Illinois. Economic development is a designed idea that can be rolled out consistently and systematically in all kinds of different places. And so it's our responsibility to make sure that there's a future here. I have 4 kids. Many people here have kids. There's not going to be a lot left for the regular folks. And I'm not disgruntled about anything like that. I'm upset and concerned for my future because of you, Mr. Chairman. And our whole county is in a very vulnerable position. And I implore you guys to take this serious and just do your own research. I've done it on my own. You can too. And we don't have to be having this conversation. You could just do the right thing. Thank you.
Okay, the next person who signed up to speak is Sante Massey. I don't see Sante. Okay, that concludes the public comment portion of the meeting. Proceeding in the regular order, minutes of the July 14th, 2026 meeting, motion by Mr. Madonia, seconded by Mr. Del Giorno to place for the approval of the minutes of the July 14th, 2026 meeting. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The minutes are approved. Correspondence, motion by Mr. Del Giorno, seconded by Mr. Madonia to place correspondence on file with the clerk. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Correspondence be placed on file with the clerk. Resolutions. Resolution number 1, Mr. Clerk.
Resolution 1, resolution approving the planning year 27 agreement with the Springfield Sangamon County Regional Planning Commission for the planning year 2027 Unified Planning Work Program in the amount of $39,500.
Motion by Mr. Mendenhall, seconded by Ms. Lathan to place Resolution 1 before the board. Questions, council members of the board on Resolution 1? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll.
Canman. Yes. Clark. Yes. Davsco. Yes. Diener. Yes. Del Giorno. Aye. Deppie. Yes. Douglas Williams. Aye. Feipel. Yes. Forsyth. Yes. Frazee. Aye. Guyton.
Aye.
Hall. Yes. Krell. Aye. Lathan. Yes. Madonia. Aye. McGuire. Aye. Mendenhall.
Aye.
Miller. Aye. Rader. Aye. Scaife. Aye. Shackman. Aye. Small. Aye. Stump. Aye. Chumlin. Aye. Truax. Aye. All 25 approve.
All those voting having voted in the affirmative, Resolution 1 is adopted. Resolution 2, Mr. Clerk.
Number 2, a resolution approving a purchase order to Mohawk Lifts LLC for the purchase of a 4-post lift and alignment machine for the Fleet Maintenance Department in the amount of $88,000.
Motion by Mr. Frazee, seconded by Mr. Miller to place Resolution 2 before the board. Questions, comments, members of the board on Resolution 2? Seeing none, Mr. Madonia, you have a motion?
I move that the roll call vote for Resolution 1 stand for the roll call vote, Resolution 2.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Resolution 2 is adopted. Resolution 3, Mr. Clerk.
Number 3, a resolution approving a fiscal year 27 purchase order to Rush Truck Center Springfield for the purchase of a tandem axle dump truck with snow removal equipment in the amount of $262,000.
Motion by Mr. Frazee, seconded by Mr. Chumlin to place Resolution 3 before the board. Questions, council members of the board on Resolution 3? Seeing none, Mr. Madonia.
I move that the roll call vote for Resolution 1 stand for the roll call vote, Resolution 3.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Resolution 3 is adopted. Resolution 4, Mr. Clerk.
Number 4, 2026-17, Phyllis Anderson, 8854 Warner Road, New Berlin, granting variances.
Motion by Mr. Hall, seconded by Mr. Mendenhall to place Resolution 4 before the board. We're now entering the zoning portion of the meeting, and it's our policy to ask if there are members of the audience who wish to speak in opposition to the proposed zoning. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition to proposed zoning? Very good. If you'd proceed to the well of the chamber here, on this side, I guess. And do we have someone who wants to speak in favor of the proposed zoning? Very good. If you'd proceed here, and as our speakers situate themselves, our crack staff will give the procedural history of the case.
The petition request for proposed parcel 1 pursuant to chapter 1766, a variance of section 1738-030 to allow one parcel less than 40 acres, approximately 4 acres. For proposed parcel 2 pursuant to chapter 1766, a variance of section 17.38.030 to allow one parcel less than 40 acres, approximately 16 acres. And a variance of chapter 1704, lot depth, to allow the lot depth to be greater than 2.5 times the lot width.
And the Planning Commission staff has recommended approval. Granting the requested variances will facilitate a division to separate the existing residents from the cropland. No change in land use is contemplated and negative impacts are not anticipated. The standards for variation are met.
The Zoning Board of Appeals concurred with staff recommendations.
Thank you, staff. Okay, our proponents will have 2 minutes for a presentation, and then there may be questions. And our opponents will have 2 minutes for a presentation, and there may be questions. But if you proceed first with your name and address for us.
Okay, my name is Paul Rice. I live at 6150 West Isles, New Berlin, Illinois. I'm here as a representative for Phyllis Anderson. I'm acting as her real estate agent. She and her husband, since 1985, they had an airstrip with, Ron did airplane mechanics. As such, Ron passed away about 10 years ago. Phyllis has moved to a senior residence home and just not able to keep up with the property as such. So through the process, we've requested the partition of, it's approximately 20 and a fraction acres. There's a 4-acre block and about a 16-acre strip that was the former runway. And so for sales purpose, we felt it was best interest for the family as well as someone buying it to buy the 4 acres with the residence and the several outbuildings. We had a very quick offer and the family accepted it, and so we're seeking approval to partition those 2 parts. So a 4-acre and the 16-acre parcel of farm ground. The farm ground will continue to remain in the family. They do not intend to sell it at this time. It is currently farmed, and so that's what we're here to represent.
Very good. Any questions for the proponents from members of the board? Seeing none, we'll proceed to the opponents. 2 minutes.
So I really didn't know how this would work because I've clearly never done this before, but I just want to kind of oppose or enlighten you before you quickly approve zoning measures in any capacity moving forward, that you just don't do it the night that it's introduced to you, so you can look and see at the grid requests that are in the surrounding areas, and you can look at the infrastructure work that has been going on around these areas where these zoning requests are coming. I'm not here to say that that's what's happening here. They've not said who plans to buy the additional acreage. But due diligence involves zoning and piecing out this land and shuffling it around, and it's been going on for quite a while. So I just want that to be on the forefront of all of your minds, and remember that you have a responsibility to understand the zoning purposes or reasons and make sure that you're protecting the rest of us across the board on all zoning resolutions. That's really my opposition. Good luck.
Any questions for the opponents? Seeing none, the proponents have 1 minute rebuttal.
Just one thought is on Werner Road, it tees to the west of Farmingdale Road, and there's, I'm not sure the exact count, but 6 or 7 current residences on anywhere from 1 to 5 acres. So this is not an uncommon request for that particular area of the road. So.
Thank you. That's it. Any further questions from members of the board for the proponents? Seeing none, you have 1 minute's rebuttal. Opponents.
I agree with what he said, and that is true. This appears normal. They all all of what we have seen has appeared normal. The coordinating the land for the Double Black Diamond, Cyrus One, QTS, all these other different things that are taking place and about to launch. So again, just take your time and execute your own due diligence in the things that you say yes on. Thank you.
Any further questions for the opponents? Seeing none, any further discussion? Seeing none, on the question, all those in favor of adopting Resolution 4 and granting the zoning, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The zoning's granted. Thank you. Resolution 5, Mr. Clerk.
Number 5, 2026-18, The Lady in the Beard Properties LLC, 1580 Jeffries Road, Springfield, granting a conditional permitted use with conditions and variance.
Motion by Mr. Rader, second by Mr. Mendenhall to place Resolution 5 before the board. Questions, comments from members of the board on Resolution 5? Or are there members of the audience who wish to speak in opposition to the proposed zoning? In opposition to the proposed zoning? Seeing none. Are there members of the audience who feel it's necessary to speak in support of the proposed zoning? Seeing none. Mr. Mendenhall, do you have a motion?
Since we have no objectors or proponents, I move away the staff report.
Is there objection? Without objection, so ordered. Questions, comments from members of the board on the resolution? Seeing none on the question. All those in favor of adopting Resolution 5 signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Resolution 5 is adopted. Resolution 6, Mr. Clerk.
Number 6, 2026-19, Jack and Donna Brown, 1500 to 1700, block of Jerry Road, Cantrell, granting rezoning and variances.
Motion by Mr. Frazee, seconded by Mr. Mendenhall to place Resolution 6 before the board. Are there members of the audience who wish to speak in opposition to the proposed zoning? Seeing none. Are there members of the audience who feel it's necessary to speak in support of the proposed zoning? Seeing none. Mr. Mendenhall, do you have a motion?
Since we have no objectors, I move away the staff report.
Is there objection? Without objection, so ordered. Questions, comments from members of the board on the resolution? Seeing none. All those in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Resolution 6 is adopted. Resolution 7, Mr. Clerk.
Number 7, resolution approving the procurement of goods and/or services for the Elections Department from Up North Printing for the purpose of printing certification and mail-out envelopes with and without permit for mail ballots in the amount of approximately $35,035.
Motion by Mr. Miller, seconded by Ms. Small to place Resolution 7 before the board. Questions or comments from members of the board on Resolution 7? Seeing none, Mr. Madonia, you have a motion?
I move the roll call vote for Resolution 1, stand for the roll call vote of Resolution 7.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Resolution 7 is adopted. Resolution 8, Mr. Clerk.
Number 8, resolution approving a grant application for the Office of Emergency Management from the Illinois Emergency Management Agency Office, Homeland Security, for the fiscal year 25 Emergency Management Performance Grant in the amount of $100,446.63.
Motion by Mr. Rader, seconded by Mr. Davsko to place Resolution 8 before the board. Questions, comments from members of the board on Resolution 8? Seeing none, Mr. Madonia, do you have a motion?
I move that the roll call vote for Resolution 1, stand for the roll call vote of Resolution 8.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Resolution 8 is adopted. Motion by Mr. Madonia, seconded by Mr. Del Giorno for the waiver of the 10-day filing period. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. 10-day filing period is waived. Resolution 9, Mr. Clerk.
Number 9, resolution approving the procurement of goods and/or services for information systems from Ring Central for the purchase of a 5-year contract for countywide phone services in the amount of $876,573.
Motion by Ms. Deppie, seconded by Ms. Clark to place Resolution 9 before the board. Mr. Del Giorno.
Mr. Chairman, at this time, I move to consolidate resolutions 10 through 14 and with 9.
10 through including 14. Seconded by Mr. Madonia. Mr. Clerk, will you please read resolutions 10 through 14?
Number 10, resolution approving the procurement of goods and/or services for public health from Habitat for Humanity of Sangamon County for the purpose of large item pickup and disposal services in the amount of $150,000. 11, resolution approving the procurement of goods and/or services for public health from Heartland Housed for the purpose of providing Narcan distribution services in the amount of $150,000. Number 12, resolution approving the procurement of goods and/or services for public health from Morgan County for the purpose of providing Narcan distribution services in the amount of $60,000. Number 13, resolution approving the procurement of goods and/or services for public health from Sister Girl and Friends for the purpose of providing Narcan distribution services in the amount of $30,000. Number 14, resolution approving an intergovernmental agreement between Sangamon County and the City of Springfield, Illinois, regarding tourism content sharing and interactive wayfinding platform.
On the motion to consolidate, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Motion to consolidate is agreed to. Questions, council members of the board on the resolutions as consolidated? Ms. Lathan?
Just for clarification, is number 12 actually in Morgan County, or is that in Macon County? That may be a question for professional staff.
I think that is a question for professional staff. I saw John here earlier. The question is it Morgan County or Macon County?
Okay.
I think we're kind of the distributor for central, for the.
I know number 13 is Macon, but I wasn't certain about Morgan. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, Ms.
This is a question for Director Ridley. On 12 and 13 also, 12 looks like it's providing services to Morgan County, and 13 providing services to Sister Girl and Friends, which is located in Macon County. How is it that we are providing, the Sangamon County Public Health Department are providing services to those other counties? Can you
That's
explain
part of
that?
that's part of our opioid grant. So that money is it's an agreement that we serve several counties with that money that we receive for that grant.
Okay, so the money that's used to fund this isn't coming from Sangamon County taxpayers, it's coming from the opioid settlement, is that right?
That's correct.
And the money for those counties was allocated to for those counties,
That's
is that
right.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Mr. Hall?
Chairman, as a board member that represents the edge of Morgan County from top to bottom, we hear this all the time from people on the other side of the county line. And I'd just like to say, John, thank you very much from hearing from people who are outside of our county that still come and go in our county. And this issue does not know where the property lines stop, either county, municipal, or even state. So thank you very much to your department.
Any other questions or comments from members of the board on the resolutions as consolidated? Seeing none, Mr. Madonia?
Yeah, I move that the roll call vote for Resolution 1 stand for the roll call vote of 9 through 14 as consolidated.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The resolution as consolidated are adopted. Resolution 15, Mr. Clerk.
Number 15, resolution submitting a referendum to Sangamon County voters in the November 26th general election to provide for the power of recall of county officers.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Yeah, before we get started on this one, I noticed that there were two people that signed up to speak on the issue of recall, Teresa Haley and Ken Pasha, who were at the, who just arrived, and they were at the city council meeting.
Hang on just a minute, Mr. Cameron. But first, let's get a motion to put this on the floor. So you want to make
Okay,
that
I'll
motion?
move to put this on the floor.
Put it on the floor.
And adopt it.
Who wants second? Seconded by Mr. Del Giorno. Okay. So
Okay.
you, now you go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I since they were apparent, since we have our county board meeting basically at the same time as a city council meeting, I understand that they were at the city council, they rushed over here, thought the public comment would be at the end of the meeting. They didn't realize it was turned around. I'm wondering if we could
Why was it turned around? Why was it turned around, Mr. Cameron?
Well, it was turned around because some people wanted to speak to things that were on the agenda. So, and this was one of them. So I'd ask if you maybe would allow them to make their public comments now before we debate this resolution.
Yeah, I think we can allow that. There are only two speakers?
That's the only two that I know of. I don't know, others may have shown up, but they could express it for themselves.
If there are two speakers, I see Teresa Haley. Ms. Haley, if you'd like to address the board. And I thought I saw Mr. Pasha come in. Yeah, all right, yeah. Is that who you were speaking of? Yes. Mr. Cameron, is that who you were speaking of?
What's your question?
Were those the two people you were speaking of?
Those are the two that I noticed. I don't know, there may be more.
Okay.
Good evening. My name is Teresa Haley. I am a Springfield resident. Thank you, Chair, for allowing me the opportunity to speak about recall. The last few years in Springfield are no different than the last 100+ years with the 1908 race riots that led to the start of the oldest civil rights organization in the world. Springfield, Sangamon County, we have a lot of issues, and we all are aware of it. People internationally even are aware of the issues that we have here in Sangamon County. I am asking the County Board of Sangamon County here to vote for the recall. We have to come together. We have to have some sense of unity within our community. The Sonia Massey case, the Earl Moore case, and so many other things that have happened throughout Sangamon County over the last few years has given us a black eye. This is a way of repairing that black eye, that's saying to our citizens, our taxpayers, we hear you and we want to do something about it. If any of us, including me, serves in a leadership position and something goes wrong underneath our watches, underneath my watch, the community, the taxpayers should have the right to have that individual recall. Let's stop putting a Band-Aid on these issues that occur in Sangamon County and throughout the United States and show them that we are a leader, that we are being proactive instead of reactive as we move forward. Thank you for allowing me to speak tonight, Mr. Chair.
And Mr. Pesha.
Allow me to say thank you for giving us the chance to speak. The meeting times, I literally jogged over here, I swear. Like, I tried to make it. I do want to talk about the recall because I think it's really important to note the impetus behind the recall. I think we all are well aware of what happened to Sonia, and I think that's one of the big things to remember is that the Mental Health Board and other efforts being made are just one part of all of the overall efforts to try and change what's wrong with this county. Not Sangamon County and the people that run it, but the county itself. Years of issues, both city and rural within the county itself. And I think it's really important to think about why we need this recall. 39 other states in the United States allow for recall of municipal officials, city council, county board, commissioners, school board. This isn't a new thing. This happens all over the country. We're not asking for anything revolutionary, but what we are asking for is liberation from public officials who should be removed. We shouldn't have been left to the mercy of Jack Campbell removing himself from a department that had so many problems. We had to allow him to resign. He couldn't have been removed without considerable effort. And to be fair, this is not an inconsiderable effort when you talk about a recall. You have to do quite a bit of work to recall a public official. But I think it's a fair shift that if people elect somebody, we have the right, if in the middle of their term they've gone so far AWOL or so far away from the directive of the community that they're supposed to serve, that we have the right to remove them. It isn't a threat to sitting officials who are doing their job or a simple discourse of disagreement. We all disagree on things, even people within our own parties. That's how politics works. But when someone is so disagreeable and so onerous that the community itself is calling for their removal, we should have the right to put that together, create an effort, and remove that official at the behest of the community. I don't see any reason to say no to that. Quite simply, the effort that you guys have made for Sonia is measurable. We see it. But this is yet another step in the process to try and continue the improvements to this county and ensure that we don't ever have things like that happen again, because we as citizens have the right to make an even bigger choice about our leadership. I mean, to be fair, I think we all understand in terms of elections, it's a guess. We as community members believe you when you tell us during your campaigns that you're going to deliver on the promises that we want, that you're going to represent our interests, that you're going to listen to the people that are a part of your community and then come here and follow through on that. And if you don't, it shouldn't be a matter of, well, I guess we have to wait another 3 years or 4 or a year even. There is a level of damage that can be inflicted by a poisonous member of our established bodies that can do irreparable damage to the community itself, to the trust within that body, and the outcomes that it produces. So I really want to stress how important it is that we consider this not just Sam's third try at getting this through. Because that's what I see out there in newspapers where they're pitching it like this is just a desperate attempt to get it through. I think it's yet another attempt to try and convince you guys that this is a valuable, meaningful piece of legislation that could really make a difference in the way that this county is perceived in terms of how we feel about our leadership and how we feel about our elected officials. And by giving the public the ability to, hit a safety lever, so to speak, when that happens. Again, we shouldn't be left at the mercy of a bad actor. No matter how you feel about Jack Campbell, there was a lot of problems with that department prior to his departure. Do they all lay bare at his feet? No, that's an unfair point. But it was his leadership that got us there. And the fact that we had to wait for him to do it is problem enough. Thank you.
Okay. So the motion on Resolution 15 is properly before the board. Questions or comments, discussion on Resolution 15. Mr. Cameron, you may open discussion.
Yes, thank you. The whole reason that the idea of enacting recall in the county came about is obviously arose from the tragic killing of Sonia Massey by one of our deputy sheriffs. And then when investigations and reporters, was revealed that the elected sheriff was very negligent in ignoring the many, many red flags that should have caused him never to hire that deputy sheriff. And people from the governor on down were calling on him to resign. He wouldn't resign, at least initially. And that's when we realized that we don't have the power to recall any county elected officials, or really any local officials in the whole state of Illinois, except for 3 localities up in the Chicago suburbs. So when we first brought this up at the county board, our council gave the legal opinion that we didn't have the authority under the local government article of the Illinois Constitution to enact recall. So I just want to briefly explain why we do have the legal power to enact recall. The Illinois Supreme Court in Leck versus Michelson, 111 Illinois 2nd, 523, 1986 opinion, held that altering the terms of office and the manner of selecting an officer and to serve, that does constitute a change in the form of government. And in the Illinois Appellate Court in Henyard versus Dolton, 2016, App First 153374, 48 Northeast 2nd, 3rd 220, that's a 2016 opinion. They, after performing their analysis, that Henyard court ruled that based on our Supreme Court select decision, recall does alter both the manner of selection and the terms of office, and therefore, under the Williamson, under the Leck decision, Henyard held that both home rule and non-home rule municipalities and counties had the authority to adopt recall by binding referendum because Section 6 and 7 of Article 7 of the Illinois Constitution, that's a local government article, authorize them to provide for the manner of selection in terms of office of their officers by referendum, and that's what recall does. It changes the manner of selection in the terms of office by binding referendum. There was another Henyard decision, Henyard 2, which was 2022 ILAP First 220898, and in that opinion, it quoted a leading scholar on the 1970 Illinois Constitution, Professor Ann Louison, who stated that local governments did have recall power, but that the recall process had to be created by a tailor-made Section 6F referendum in the Home Rule Unit section, and that the 6F pertains to Home Rule units. Section 7 of the article is the exact same language on Home Rule units. So therefore, that's why we believe that we, as a non-home rule unit county, all counties have the right to enact recall by binding referendum, and 3 Illinois localities have, under that power, enacted recall. Arlington Heights, Buffalo Grove, and Wheeling. And just a week ago, Monday, August 3rd, the voters in Aurora filed 9,000 signatures to put the question, a binding referendum on recall for the mayor and at-large alderman on the ballot in the November 3rd election. So the Massey Commission has recommended that we adopt recall. James Wilburn, Sonia Massey's father, has strongly endorsed recall and strongly endorsed the petition drive where we tried to enact recall. And I should say that we also had the help of Senator Turner. It seemed that the members of this board were saying that we are for recall, we just don't think we have the power to enact it. And then Senator Turner introduced a bill in the Senate that would have specifically authorized actually all counties to adopt recall by a binding referendum, but that was amended down to just authorize Sangamon County to adopt recall, but only in a binding referendum at the November 3rd, 2026 election. That bill stalled in the House. It passed the Senate, but it stalled in the House, and the deadline to put anything on the November 3rd ballot for county boards, the deadline for that is August 17th. The House is not going to be coming into session before August 17th, so there's no way that bill will pass by the deadline, and if it does pass after the deadline, it's really moot. So we also tried to collect the 6,359 signatures to put the question on the ballot by on initiative petition on the November 3rd ballot. We collected probably about over 3,000 signatures, but we didn't have enough to file by the August 3rd deadline to do that. So we're left with the point where the only way we can get this on the ballot November 3rd is by the county board voting to do it, and that's why I brought this resolution before the board this time. Now, a couple meetings ago, I think it was, we had before us a resolution for zoning relief for a solar farm. We were advised by our council that if we voted no, we turned it down, that it was likely illegal and we would likely be sued, or we may be sued. And in fact, we were sued because we didn't follow the law. Now, in that case, it was almost for sure there was nobody arguing that legally we had the right to reject that zoning relief petition, and we were almost guaranteed that a suit would be filed because you had a developer with a financial interest. Here in this case, where if we pass it and we don't have the power, first of all, there are people arguing that we do have the power. In the zoning situation, nobody was arguing we had the power. Secondly, there's nobody with a financial interest that's likely that is going to challenge this. I don't know who would challenge it if we did pass it, but there's a good chance it would be declared constitutional because, as I said, there are 3 localities that have enacted recall under this power under the Illinois Constitution, and and therefore I think we do have the power. So if we're for it policy-wise, I think we should enact it. If somebody wants to challenge it, and then the courts can decide if we have it or we don't have it. But if it's good policy, it's good policy. We ought to pass it. And what it is really a safety valve for those very rare situations when the public has lost confidence in their elected official. The elected official cannot serve adequately or reasonably or measurably if the people lose confidence in him or her, which is what happened with the case of our elected sheriff, who eventually, did the right thing and resigned. But there was no requirement that he resign. And just an example is the case of former state representative who just resigned in July, and he's also a township highway commissioner in Wheatland Township. And the township board up there voted unanimously that he should resign, but he's refusing to resign, and his term lasts until 2029, and there's no way to force him out because we don't have recall for local elected officials in Illinois. So that's just another example of why we need it. Not that our resolution, if it passed, would have any effect up in Wheatland Township. But it just shows you why we need it. It's good policy, and I'd ask the board, I'd urge the board members to vote yes. Put this on the ballot and let the people decide if they want recall, the power to recall or not. Thank you.
Discussion from members of the board. Mr. Stumpf.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. So I appreciate, I'm glad that you let the two speak after the fact because they were with the city council. Ken, I'm glad you trotted over here from there, and I do think that's probably an issue at the same time, these meetings. But you did highlight, Ken, that some issues that we deal with since Sonia Massey, and we're dealing with lots of different issues surrounding that, with mental health care, with the commission, with different things that we're trying to work with the sheriff's department and our legal system and all kinds of things. I think all kinds of really, really good things are coming out of that. In this case, with Sam, what he's requesting, and I know a lot of different people have said that they would like to see that done. There's a lot that said they wouldn't like to see that possibility. But the thing that I want to throw back, and I want to ask, we have a couple lawyers on this board. We have several lawyers in the room, but the main lawyer I want to talk to is our state's attorney. I want to ask him point blank because in this case, under this scenario, you've stated before that, you know, we make a lot of decisions based on our staff, meaning the state's attorney, zoning, regional planning, health, and we look to our directors. In your case, I want to ask you point blank, and I need it strong if this is what it is what Sam proposing, as you stated back in December 5th, is in several news outlets, is what Sam's proposing, as we're a non-rural home unit of government, is it against the law for us to pass this in the fashion that he's presenting it to us? And if so, and then I know there was a case where there was a professor from the University of Illinois that spoke on the same thing. I need to hear it as a board member that you're telling me as my legal advisor here that this is not legal and a good thing for us to do tonight. That's what I need to hear, because like I said, we're trying to do all kinds of good things with the Massey Commission and with the mental health care and all that. But with this situation, it's a little different, and I want to make sure what you say. It means a lot to me as a county board member.
Okay, I recently learned that this resolution was going to be before the board tonight, so I went back and I found my research going back to December of 2024 on this issue of whether or not the county board has authority to do what Sam is suggesting here. I'm glad when I hear Sam's comments, he's talking about the same cases and court opinions that we discussed back then, back and forth, and me and Sam disagreed on some of it. But I laid it all out in a fairly lengthy motion, or memo, and that was distributed. It had all the different sections of the Constitution, Illinois Constitution at issue, the opinions, and then I just went through and did the legal analysis. And I determined at that time that the county did not have authority. Now, Sam is correct in point, and then this was kind of funny, and we talked about it back then. I believe it was first district opinions, first district of the appellate court. There was a little conflict between the two. One division said, oh yeah, you can do this, and the other one said no, and the third one was kind of in the middle. So as a lawyer and trying to determine, okay, what is the law here? I did the analysis, came to the determination. My opinion was no, you do not have the authority. The professor you're talking about is a U of I law professor, Scott Zala. He looked at what I researched, he did his own research, and he determined, my recollection is he presented this at least at the committee level. He agreed with me, and he also just brought up the point that there could be a lot of expense and trouble with litigation if we were to go down that road. What Sam's saying tonight, again, the same cases, so yeah, my opinion would not change or has not changed. I'm always open to, new law, whatever. And it's really, what I was asked to talk about is not policy. Is it a good policy for states to allow counties or cities or whatever to do recall or statewide recall? You recall that the only thing in Illinois that is in the law is to recall the governor, and not anybody else, just the governor. Now, other states, and I mentioned that, they're kind of recall wild, like, California or whatever. That's what they like. In Illinois, it's not a thing. Now, Sam brings up some little towns have tried it. Maybe it hasn't been challenged, whatever. But I mean, generally, the overall state policy in Illinois is we don't like recall. So I can answer other questions or try to, but no, my opinion has not changed.
Other questions or comments? Mr. Madonia.
And my question is for County Clerk Don Gray. What's the position on the State Board of Elections on this?
Right, so, this isn't our first go-around of analyzing this potential possibility in light of 2024. So, and in light, too, of the measure of the 104th General Assembly, taking a route through Senate Bill 1954, there was discussion amongst, county clerks and associations as well about the potentiality and what we see codified in Illinois Election Code today. Specifically to the State Board of Elections, the one indicator that they gave us in this particular measure in itself, specifically to Sangamon County's effort, came from Matt Dietrich, who is the Public Information Officer of the State Board of Elections. And this was in 24, and he was talking specifically to the measure that was being proposed here when we were debating it the first time. And he made mention through the Illinois Times that the state law may allow municipalities to establish the option of recall election because of the home rule opportunities. But he specifically said, but county governments do not have that power for county elected officials. Okay? And that debate of Senate Bill 1954, I would argue, Member Canman's thoughts on how it was an effort into being reactionary to doubts here that it wasn't allowable by law. I would argue that it was an effort of an acknowledgement that it needed to be codified in state law for a county jurisdiction to be able to provide for such a mechanism. Even in public comment this evening, when Mr. Pacher made mention that 39 other states provide recall. So we're really arguing about the authority of how to be able to provide for a recall. And election law, and Illinois is no different, election law is codified by state action. This effort here, when I see it in review of how it's spelled out in the referendum of the question of the people, of our citizens, it lays out a very specific procedural election administrative policy to follow, right? It's not advisory, it's acting to be binding. And binding referendums have to be specifically codified and authorized by state law to be actionable as binding. They're usually centered in around taxation issues or bonding issues, but we know specifically exactly what those are. And if you don't see them, any other form of referendum is strictly just advisory. So, in my read of this, and my fear to a piece like this, the manner in which that's laid out, it appears to be very codified, actionable, that if passed and approved, that the election office must provide for this process, right? It doesn't seek and ask, should Sangamon County seek the authorization of the legislative body that has the authority to be able to provide a mechanism to procure recall, right? It lays out a process of which this office, the county clerk's office, and Sangamon County's elections office is being proposed to have to follow. And I don't know if I can follow that. I don't believe that I can follow that because it's not specifically spelled out in an Illinois election code. I'm only actionable to be able to authorize services based upon what's provided in Illinois law. And today I don't see that.
Thank you.
Other members who wish to speak? Ms. Lathan.
So in the event that well, two questions. If enough signatures were provided on the petition, then am I correct in saying, in understanding that it would have been put on the ballot for November 2026?
I don't want to speak out of turn on the legal side of things, but. Right.
Okay. And so the second question.
Well, I'll try and give a little bit of an answer, but there is a law, Illinois Election Code of Law, to perform referendum. You know, either approved by government body jurisdiction here, like we're discussing tonight, or citizen-initiated public referendum. That is true. And sure, if that's properly followed by law, you know, that's something that's actionable to happen, right? So I would imagine that it's possible.
Okay. And in the event that this passed right today from this body, typically, and maybe I'm stretching this, but my thought is just based on my own professional experience, that in the event that a law or a local action was taken, then that particular governing body would then put forward a policy to guide it. Because what I'm thinking I heard is that there is not policy in place.
I'm not sure if that's possible. That's the question at hand, right? Because everything enabling for us under election administration is offered by state statute.
Correct.
Right? And I see nothing in state statute to do that today, to perform a binding referendum of a procedure of countywide recall. You know, I don't know if that's possible. I don't see it today in statute. You know, that's for the attorneys, I guess, to decide.
And it sounds like it may or may not be in statute, but my question is tied to the response to the vote. So in the event that this body voted yes, then either at a state or the county would be responsible for the preparation, the development of the policy that would move forward the action. And so, like, for example, we just had a conversation around Macoupin or Macon County from a public health perspective. So in the event of a public health emergency, then actions are taken. And they're codified into law to make sure that certain measures are in place for safety, for health and safety. When that happens, especially under emergency circumstances, the policies are not in place. But following the passing of that particular law or that mandate, then the policies are created. So so my question lends to, is that not possible in this circumstance as well?
I don't know who has the authority to authorize that procedure. In election administration, it's the state, the legislature, that has that power. At least that's how I'm governed, right? So I can't answer the question. I'm not sure. I think that's kind of what's at hand here.
Yeah, and my thought would be that would be what the State Board of Elections would develop that policy.
At an expressed
No.
authorization of
Someone's
the
shaking their head
legislature
no.
and signed by the
Okay.
governor, right? Becoming law, right?
Because the election, the governing body of elections within the state of Illinois falls where?
With the legislature, they establish law, authorized and signed by the governor.
Okay.
They
And so-
would authorize the State Board of Elections to codify procedure, should that be what it is that they're trying to accomplish. I think what you're trying to ask is, can a county board authorize the State Board of Elections to establish a procedure?
No, that's not what I'm asking.
Oh, okay.
I'm not asking that. My question is around, in the event that the vote passed, then what happens in terms of an action after that? If it passed, and then there's no policy that guides that process, does it sit here at the county level until a body, whomever that is, creates the policy to move it forward? So the action of moving forward would be the process of recall. Because
Ms.
what's
Lathan-
not clear, and we discussed this earlier, is why were they allowed to even go through the process to secure the signatures for the petition if we're still at, we don't know what's next?
Well, Ms. Page-Lathan, I really think you've kind of put your finger on the biggest problem here that we're facing, which is if we adopt this, what happens next? Nothing. It goes on our statutes and it sits there on the county code. And when is this going to become an issue? The next time this is going to become an issue is when there's something grievous that has happened in this community and there's a public official that some members of the public want to remove from office. And when that occurs, passions will be high, tension will be at a maximum, and people will say, "Oh, we've got Sam's law that was on the county code. We'll follow that." And then what's going to happen? People say, "Oh, we've got a solution right here." And then what's going to happen? We're going to get in a big fat lawsuit. Sam said earlier, no one's going to oppose this resolution. No, right now, no one is. But when in the heat of the moment, when you're trying to remove an elected official, they'll oppose this resolution. They'll say that thing you passed, you had no authority to pass it. And that's the gravamen of the argument that we return to over and over again on this issue. We don't have the authority to do this. Sam thinks we do. He cites some cities up in northern Illinois that have adopted recall, and some court cases, appellate court cases that have said, yeah, we see that in the Constitution here. But our own counsel, and he went and got second advice from a professor at the University of Illinois, says, Illinois does not allow you to do this. You don't have the authority to do this. So we went to the legislature and we asked the legislature for the authority to do this. The legislature didn't grant us the authority. The legislature seemed to think they had the authority to grant it to us if they wanted to, but they didn't grant it to us. So set aside the issue of whether or not recall is a good idea or a bad idea. We can debate that, and it's an important philosophical debate. But adopting this is a very bad idea, because we'll all sing Kumbaya tonight, and 20 years from now, when the community faces the kind of issue that it faced 2 years ago, we'll think this thing that we've passed tonight work. They'll think this might work, and it won't. It'll only get us into it'll only get to the citizens at that time into a big lawsuit. And that's the point you're bringing up. Where's our authority? We don't have the authority. You asked about the petition. Anyone can file a petition, and anyone, if you get enough signatures, you can put that petition on the ballot, and the voters can vote on it. There's two types of referendums. One can be advisory, where the voters say, here's what we think. And the other is a referendum where what the voters decide takes effect and does something. So I'm not sure which this petition is, whether it's a petition to have an advisory vote by the public, or it's a petition to have something actually take force and effect. But if it's an advisory vote, or you can advise on anything. You could advise that animals should be better cared for. You can, and all kinds of things. But if it's a resolution that's supposed to have force and effect, and the petition is filed and everybody votes on it, if we don't have the authority to do it, if the people don't have the authority to do it in the Constitution, it won't matter. Any other? I see your hand, Mr. Cameron. Are there other members of the? Yes, Mr. Del Giorno.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In terms of the issue of whether this would be good as an advisory referendum, I seem to recall that we have put advisory referendums on the ballot when we have specifically wanted to get some sort of public support demonstrated for the legislature to say, hey, your constituents here in Sangamon County want you to do this. And knowing that Senator Turner's bill is stalled in the House, would it be conceivable that if we amended this to be an advisory referendum, then perhaps in the veto session, if this has passed, 'cause I believe veto is going to be after the election, if this has passed, then Senator Turner would have more arguing power to say this is what the county would like to do, so let's work on this.
Your question changes the debate, so I don't know how to answer your question exactly, but your question
Well, I'm
really
kind of
changes
posing
the
it
issue.
rhetorically to the board as a whole.
Yeah.
Because we want to support what the Massey Commission has recommended, I believe, in many ways. But at the same time, we're in this conundrum of the law doesn't necessarily allow us to do it, or we at least have, legal minds in the room that are all disagreeing on what it says. So if we took a step back, knowing that there's still the petition movement within the county for potentially the consolidated election, and we know that Doris Turner has her bill that's passed the Senate, could we as a body decide, let's make this an advisory referendum so that if it passes, Senator Turner has another arrow in her pack? That's what I would put to the board, and I don't know if Mr. Canman would be open to a friendly amendment to change it to an advisory referendum for that purpose.
I think, Mr. Canman, you're being asked a question.
I would be open to such an amendment, yes.
Then I don't know how to actually make that motion.
No, nor do I, and that has to be in proper form
Right.
to do. I really don't see that solution as viable. Mr. Stump, you've spoken, so let me ask this. Are there others who wish to speak on this? Mr. Hall.
Yes, I am hesitating on speaking on this. My question is did this issue go before the committee?
Mr. Chair, if I may
Miller,
address.
did this appear before your committee, Mr. Miller? I'm sorry.
Well, in 24, but
Mr. Miller, use your microphone. Did this resolution appear before your committee?
Not in our last committee. Last time was 2024.
Okay, so my question is out of respect to the board and respect to the county, this should have went in front of the committee. Was this not in front of the committee because of time or effort?
Time, yes. The deadline to get it on the ballot is August 17th. So if it went to committee, it couldn't pass the board in time to get it on the November 3rd ballot.
You didn't know about this until you put the effort to try to hit the signatures, in which it failed to get enough signatures for effort or support, and I don't know, and I don't want to debate that. I suppose my question is, going back to a person who has also had things go in front of this board and failed, out of respect to the board, I would always go back to the committee. And if there's anything you remember from anything I say, we're a committee form of government. Send it back to the committee. If you don't have the time for this because of the committee, it's not the board's. It's on you.
The board has the power to pass things without.
Mr. Gammon, you don't have the floor.
Okay.
Okay, I'm through. I'm not asking a question. I'm just saying, out of respect to the board, respect to the process, why we do what we do, this is not what we do.
Any other board members wishing to speak on this resolution? Mr. Gammon, I do think you want to speak again.
Well, I would, picking up on Mr. Del Giorno's remarks, I would move that this resolution be amended to an advisory referendum asking the question, shall the citizens of Sangamon County have the power to recall county elected officials?
Mr. Gammon, well, any motion is in order, but any motion is, if there's a motion and a second, any motion's in order, we can discuss it then.
Second. I'll make the motion.
You're seconding Mr. Gammon's motion.
Are you pointing at?
Okay. Ms. Lathan, you want to also be a second to Mr. Cannon's motion?
Yes.
To convert this resolution to a advisory referendum on recall.
I wonder if this is that, I mean, is that change, germane, going from something binding to?
Yeah, that would be a advisory referendum. Shall the citizens of Sangamon County have the power of recall for county elected officials? That's how I would pose the question.
We don't even know if the question's in the proper form.
Why wouldn't that be in the proper form?
I don't
think
know.
it's in the proper
That's the
form.
point. I don't know.
Well,
That's
I do
the
know.
point of doing all of this at the last minute instead of taking it through committee, which is what Mr. Hall was trying to make.
Well, Mr. Chairman, the reason that I filed it when I did was because when we saw, we didn't know how many signatures we were going to have on August 3rd, and if we had sufficient signatures on August 3rd to get it on the ballot November 3rd, there would be no reason to file the resolution. So, but
I understand that's your reason, but as Mr. Hall pointed out, you still could have brought this to committee as a backup and been prepared. The question now is on Mr. Canman's motion to convert this resolution, and so we can return to all speakers for the first time. So, Mr. Stump.
Thank you. So, I would like to recommend this. What Sam's trying to do, and all the lawyers in this room, let's take one step back. Craig is 1,000% correct. If Sam wants to try to get this done, the lawyers and our state's attorney can't put it together. So Sam's trying to beat a timeline. Run it back through the committee, run it back to the committee as a possible advisory, and it'll be up for the April election, right? I mean, we're missing one election cycle. So what he's trying to do, maybe what he's trying to do under advisory and what Gina just said with the signatures and all that, maybe through the Brad's committee, for the elections committee, maybe you can get it done there. And Craig's 1,000% right. Instead of trying to, the state's attorney's uncomfortable with this, trying to get this thing done here tonight under this situation. So that's my recommendation.
Well,
from a non-lawyer, by the way.
If I
Any
may,
others
Mr. Chairman,
wishing to speak on Mr. Canman's motion? Yeah, Ms. Cave. Ms. Cave.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just for the clarification, for those that are not aware, election committee did meet today. So, there you have it.
Any others who wish to speak on Mr. Canman's motion to convert this resolution? Seeing none. On the question, all those.
Could I?
Mr. Canman, if you'd like to close debate, sure.
First of all, I used to be on the election committee until the chairman took me off of the election committee. But
Mr. Canman, I appreciate the joke, but I want to correct the record. You served on the election committee when you filled a position for somebody, but when the new committee assignments were sent out, you were reassigned as a freshman representative. Proceed.
Yeah, you preferred to put me on that committee that meets at 6:30 in the morning once a month.
Freshman representatives get the.
In any event,
those assignments.
To send this to committee would be to kill it, because it couldn't get on the November 3rd election. But Mr. Del Giorno's point was that it would give, if it passed, and then a majority voted yes, it would give Senator Turner further ammunition to get her bill enacted. It would have to be amended to allow the binding referendum to go on the ballot maybe in the April election. So there's wide latitude in putting advisory referendums on the ballot. It's not some kind of intricate legal problem. And asking the question, shall the citizens of Sangamon County have the power of recall for county elected officials, is clearly an appropriate question. And so I'd urge a yes vote on the amendment.
Okay. Any others wishing to speak? Ms. Feifel, you want to speak?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I believe that this county spent a great amount of time, had a commission come together, evaluate the tragedy that happened in our community, and made several calls to action. And I believe that we need to pay attention to that so that this type of tragedy never happens again in our community. I know that if I do not do my job in a professional way, that I will lose my job. That's even this job here on the county. I don't see why anyone would be scared of putting this together as a what? Advisory. Thank you.
Any others? Any other board members wishing to speak on Mr. Canman's motion? Mr. Guyton.
I'll try to be quick because I know a lot of us are ready to go home. I can see the glazed over eyes across the room. So as a person who got appointed into this role, and as a person who represents the people who were affected most by this tragedy, I do have to state the importance of finding ways to make sure that we're hearing the people. Now, the issue that we're debating is whether or not we legally have the right. Understood. We want to have everything decent and order. But at the same time, I think that it is important that we have safeguards to get people removed if they're not serving the county the way that they should. Whether that's a special election, whether that's a evaluation, what that looks like, I don't know. I'm still green. But at the same time, if we don't have the legal right, then we need to be looking for a way to make this happen within legality. Simply for the simple fact that we should not have to endure what happened 2 years ago. We should not have to endure a civil servant not serving their community and not listening to their community. That's all I have to say.
Any others wishing to speak on Mr. Canman's motion? Mr. Truax.
My problem is I agree wholeheartedly with Craig Hall. And I think if this were on the April ballot, it would give Ms. Turner something to work with in May so that she could get something through past the House. And when the Senate looked at this, they only instead of giving wide powers to every level of government, to every elected position, they gave it exclusively out of 102 counties, only to one, and only for one title. And I recall before this recent episode with Miss Massey, we had a coroner that we wanted to get rid of. And we didn't have, if we had to wait for an election, a recall election for that coroner, the entire county board would have exploded. But the county board found a way to get rid of a coroner who was not doing the job we expected at the professional level that we expect. And I think waiting for elections is a delay tactic to leave bad people in office. And I don't tolerate leaving bad people in office simply over the hedge in the shadows of saying, oh, we're going to do it at the next election cycle. I want something stronger with better teeth. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Truax. I'm only laughing because you find out, you started on an issue and you find out there's even more opinions. Now, Mr. Truax just promoted impeachment instead of recall. So any other comments? The debate is on Mr. Canman's motion to convert this resolution to a advisory referendum. Any other comments on it? Mr. Canman.
Yeah, I think, as I recall, the coroner resigned, and there's no way, if somebody is in office, there's no way to force them out of office without recall. So if they resign, that's something they do voluntarily. They don't have to resign.
You're correct. The coroner resigned after we threatened to abolish the office.
Mr. Chairman.
All right.
Mr.
Mr. Correll.
I would like to just kind of bring up a point that when you start recalling people, what would be the criteria when you start recalling? Is it just a bad personality? You just don't like the dude or lady? They said something out of line at a meeting that didn't agree with someone? Or they made some advances towards somebody? You know, he said, she said. If that'd been the case, we'd, you know, a few of us, some people maybe in this room, wouldn't be sitting here today.
Well, maybe a few of us shouldn't be sitting there, Mr. Crowell. But
I mean, somebody that's, well, I'm not going to point the finger, but if you get my drift.
yes, well, Mr. Crowell, you make a very good point that then what criteria are we going to use to remove people from office? A very
Mr.
good point.
Chairman, I can
Any
answer-
other, Mr. Cameron,
can
you
answer
closed
that.
debate. I think it's time to vote on your motion.
Yeah, well, the criteria, according to the ordinance is drafted, that's presented, the criteria is if 8% of the people who last voted for governor in the county or in the county board district sign a petition saying, let's put this question on the ballot, shall elected official A be recalled, yes or no? That's the criteria. It's very difficult to get those signatures. It's about 7,000 signatures countywide. And we haven't even been able to get that number of signatures so far on the question of whether we should have recall. So it's not going to be very easy for somebody to get the signatures to recall a particular elected official. You'd have to have a situation where there was massive distrust in an elected official. People, lost confidence, like was in the case of our former sheriff, or maybe the case of the coroner who resigned. So it's very difficult to recall somebody, and that's generally how the laws are in the other states that have recall, and it seems to work very well in those states.
All right, on Mr. Canman's motion
Call the question.
to substitute his original resolution with a resolution for an advisory referendum to allow recall. All in favor of Mr. Canman's motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no.
No.
In the opinion of the chair, the noes have it. Clerk will call the roll.
Canman. Yes. Clark. No. Dafsko. No. Diener. No. Del Giorno. Yes. Deppie. No. What? Douglas Williams. No. Feifel. Yes. Forsyth. No. Frazee. No. Guyton.
Aye.
Hall.
No.
Krell. No. Lathan.
Yes.
Madonia. No. McGuire.
Yes.
Mendenhall.
No.
Miller.
No.
Rader.
No.
Scaife.
No.
Shackman.
No.
Small. Stump.
No.
Chumlin. And Truax.
No.
19 no, 6 yes.
The motion is defeated. Now the debate continues on Mr. Canman's original resolution. Is there any board members who wish to speak on Mr. Canman's original resolution? Mr. Canman.
I just want to address some of the points that were made by Mr. Gray and the chairman. First of all, I think the chairman it sounds like he's scared of his own shadow when his fears of what will happen if this resolution passes, the people vote yes, and it becomes a law. In Arlington Heights, and in those three cities I mentioned, Arlington Heights, Buffalo Grove, and Wheeling, the governing bodies authorized binding referendums to enact recall. People voted. They said yes, they want recall. And in one of those cities, in Arlington Heights, there actually was a recall question put on the ballot. One of the members of the Arlington Heights City Council was in fact recalled, and I don't believe there was any litigation challenging the recall because it's clear that the Illinois Constitution authorizes recall. Now, Mr. Gray cited Matt Dietrich. Matt Dietrich is a journalist. He used to work for the State Journal Register, and then he got a job as a flack for the Illinois State Board of Elections. He doesn't know anything about the law, and I talked to him after he made that statement, and he said he regretted it and he should have never made it. But he certainly is not capable of giving a legal opinion. And Mr. Gray says, well, it's not codified in the election code, but there's the codification of the law in Illinois includes the statutes and the Constitution. And it is codified in the Illinois Constitution. If you read the resolution, the first whereas says, whereas pursuant to Section 4 and 7 of the Article 7 of the Illinois Constitution of 1970, the Sangamon County may change the terms of office and manner of selection of county officers by countywide referendum. And then the second paragraph cites pursuant to Section 11 of Article 7. Article 7 is the local government article of the Illinois Constitution of 1987 and Election Code 10 ILCS 5/28-1. At SEC, the Sangamon County Board has the authority to initiate and submit to the electors such a countywide referendum by resolution. So we do have, it is codified that we have the right to put this on the ballot. It's been put on the ballot pursuant to this codification by other localities, the three that I mentioned. And the professor that our Mr. Benoit cited, he's not like one of these professors who's got an academic background. He was a lawyer for Kirkland and Ellis, a big Chicago corporate law firm. And then when he retired, he became an adjunct part-time professor at the University of Illinois College of Law. So he doesn't have really any academic background. Senator Turner's Senate Bill 1954 was not an acknowledgement that we don't have the power to enact recall. It was simply done, she introduced it because there was a dispute whether we had the power or didn't have the power. So he said, well, this will settle it once and for all. If the legislature specifically authorizes it, then there can't be any question that we have the power. So for those reasons, I believe it's pretty clear we do have the power. If someone wants to challenge it, let them challenge it. Let's be bold, put this on the ballot, let the people vote. All that we're doing is saying, not that we're for recall or against recall, just we want to let the people decide whether they want the power of recall. They may vote no, we don't want the power of recall. Or they may vote yes. Let's put it on the ballot and let the people vote. Let the people speak. Thank you.
On the question, the vote occurs on the question. All those in favor of adopting Mr. Kammen's resolution signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
No. Mr. Chairman, I ask for a roll call vote.
The clerk will call the roll.
Canman.
Yes.
Clark. No. Davsco. No. Diener. No. Del Giorno. Yes. Deppie. No. Douglas Williams. No. Feipel.
Yes.
Forsyth. No. Frazee.
No.
Guyton.
Yes.
Hall.
Out of a strong understanding of the committee form of government.
We don't explain votes. Just
okay,
yes or no.
then just no. Don't insult us.
Krell. No. Lathan.
Yes.
Madonia.
No.
McGuire. All right. Mendenhall.
No.
Miller.
No.
Rader.
No.
Scaife.
No.
Shackman. No. Right. Small. No. Stumpf. No. Chumlin.
No.
And Truex.
No.
McGuire one more time, or?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr.
do
Del
our
Giorno.
rules allow proxy because he had to step out briefly?
No, I don't think they do.
I didn't think they did either.
Yeah.
So.
But he can
Add it to the record.
or yeah, he can add it to the record. Yeah.
and we'll give him one more second. McGuire. Yes. There we go. With Mr. McGuire's vote in 19 no, 6 yes.
Okay, the majority having voted in opposition, the resolution is defeated. Resolution 16, Mr. Clerk.
All right, number 16, resolution approving the procurement of goods and/or services for the Circuit Clerk's Office from Bradfield's Inc. for the purpose of supplying Lexmark printers, parts, and toner in the amount of $35,000.
Motion by Ms. Clark, seconded by Ms. Diener to place resolution 16 before the board. Mr. Del Giorno.
Move to consolidate 17 and 18 with 16.
Seconded by Mr. Madonia. Mr. Clerk, will you please read resolutions 17 and 18?
Number 17, resolution approving the procurement of goods and/or services for the Circuit Clerk's Office from Conference Technologies, Inc. for the purpose of video arraignment system in the courts/county jail in the amount of $43,139.91.
And 18.
I'm sorry, 18, thank you. You can tell I'm getting tired. Resolution 18, resolution approving the procurement of goods and/or services for court services from various vendors, Vandenberg House, Oxford House, etc., for the purpose of deposits and 1 to 3 months rent in the amount of $31,000.
On the motion to consolidate, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion consolidates. Agreed to. Questions, comments from members of the board on the resolutions as consolidated? Mr. Kamen?
Either I or maybe Member Latham had a question about Resolution 18. Well, I guess I'll take it. The 18, is that we were paying for the rent and deposits of individuals who were assigned to get drug treatment by the courts to these houses, or actually, if someone could explain how that would work?
I think we've got professional staff that can answer that question.
So that is through a grant from ICEJA, and the grant funds pay for individuals who come out of residential treatment to go into a sober living house for a period of time, and so the grant will pay for 1 to 3 months for them to start that.
Who is the grant from?
ICEJA.
What is that?
Illinois Criminal Justice Information Authority.
All right. Is this something new we haven't had before?
No, we've had this for years.
This is a repeat of what we've had before?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Any further questions or comments, members of the board, on the resolutions as consolidated? Seeing none, Mr. Madonia, you have a motion?
I move that the roll call vote for Resolution 1 stand for the roll call votes of 16 through 18 as consolidated.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Resolutions 16 through 18 are adopted. Resolution 19, Mr. Clerk.
19, resolution allowing Sangamon County to enter into contract with Crawford, Murphy, and Tilley in order to supplement the operations of the Building and Zoning Department in the amount not to exceed $800,000.
Motion by Mr. Stump, second by Mr. Del Giorno to place resolution 19 before the board. Questions, comments from members of the board on resolution 19? Mr. Del Giorno.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Stumpf and I recognize after our Finance Committee meeting that what we would like to do is offer an amendment that will put a little more teeth into this resolution. What this amendment that I am going to be proposing will do is ensure that the commitment of Cyrus One to reimburse the county for this professional services for review of the construction plans and building plans and whatnot for the site are adequately following state law and our regulations. So what I am offering as amendment with Mr. Stumpf is to strike the last whereas in the resolution and replace it with the following. And I'll provide my chicken scratches to the clerk's office so that they can follow along with this. Whereas Cyrus One, by letter dated August 5th, 2026, has committed to reimburse Sangamon County for all professional service fees the county becomes obligated to pay related to the Cyrus One data center project. Said letter is made a part of this resolution by reference. Next whereas clause. Whereas all invoices submitted to Sangamon County for payment shall be submitted to the Finance Committee Chairman and/or committee for review within 2 business days of receipt. Similarly, notice of reimbursements received by the county from Cyrus One shall be reported to the Finance Committee Chair and/or committee within 2 business days of receipt. Next whereas. Whereas in the event that Cyrus One does not submit full reimbursement for the costs submitted to them for professional services incurred by Sangamon County related to the Cyrus One data center within 14 days of the request for reimbursement being submitted to Cyrus One by electronic mail, then the county, now if I can read my own chicken scratches, the county yes, the county administrator, the county administrator is authorized to stop further permit review work through Crawford, Murphy, and Tilley in any all aspects of the Cyrus One data center without need for a vote of the county board or any oversight committee. No further permits shall be issued to Cyrus One unless any and all costs incurred by Sangamon County are reimbursed in a timely manner as established by the county administrator.
And Mr. Stump, you're jointly offering this amendment?
I second that, and it fully exercises what what went through our finance committee meeting this evening, several board members. So.
Yeah, and Mr. Del Giorno, let me just say we appreciate your wordsmithing that amendment. We are not good at spur of the moment amendments, but I think we did get the chance to get that reviewed, and
yes,
and so we're in good shape on it. Questions or comments on the amendment, Mr. Hall?
Yes, as a board member that we all represent the whole county, but as a board member represents where this area is going to be built. However, I would strongly like to be included in any of this as the chairman of the finance. So as we travel through this, please include me as much as you can, please, Greg. All right, sir.
Any further comments on the proposed amendment? Yep. Yes, Ms. Douglas James.
I'd like to ask a question. When you make a statement, timely manner, what is the time? What I mean, you're not giving a directive.
I think that's for you, Mr. Del Giorno.
So, in terms of, I believe you're talking about the very last sentence? Yes. Okay. So, what we're stating is that, first of all, we've said 14 calendar days for reimbursement. So we're giving some discretion to our county administrator that if the reimbursements are not coming in a timely manner, refer back to the 14 days, then he has the sole authority then to quash all further review by CMT, which then, as I understand, would stop all further action for the data center site.
So the
Okay.
rough answer to her question is 14 days is timely manner.
Okay, then why not repeat that 14 days?
Because lawyers like to use phrases
I
like
know you do, but-
timely manner, okay?
Are there any other substantive comments on the amendment? Seeing none, all those in favor of adopting the Mr. Stump and Mr. Del Giorno's amendment signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The amendment's adopted. Now, questions, comments from members of the board on the resolution as amended. Mr. Stump.
I want to clear up what you just said. Mr. Del Giorno is the sponsor, and I seconded it. So it come out of my committee on the finance committee, but he did the legwork here, and so.
In other words, you're not responsible for timely
That's
manner.
correct.
Yeah.
No, but I wanted to acknowledge he put
the
that
record will
forward.
reflect
Yeah.
you did not put timely manner in the amendment.
So-
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions or comments from members of the board on the resolution as amended? Seeing none, Mr. Madonia, do you have a motion?
I move that the roll call vote for Resolution 1 stand for the roll call vote of Resolution 19.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Resolution 19 is adopted. old business. The chair is aware of no old business.
Excuse me?
Oh, Ms. Scaife.
Just for a point of personal privilege, I know Mr. Madonia said his mother was a nurse, and I just feel if I don't say it, my mother too was a nurse at St. John's, an instructor, and there is a shortage of nurses. And just as a fun fact, I'd like to say one of her very good students was Greg Stump's wife, Denise. There you go.
Who is now a traveling international nurse. Yeah. Okay. New business. Oh, Mr. Diljon, will you give your copy to the clerk? Yeah, very good. New business appointments. Motion by Mr. Rader, seconded by Mr. Del Giorno for the approval of the appointments is submitted at your desk. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Appointments are approved. Reports of county officials, reports of special committees, reports of standing committees, report of the Committee on Claims. Motion by Mr. Del Giorno, seconded by Mr. Stump, that the reports be placed on file with the clerk. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The reports to be placed on file with the clerk. Motion by Mr. Stump, seconded by Mr. Del Giorno, that we do stand in recess until our September 1st scheduled meeting. September 1st. We stand adjourned.